Hello. Good morning. We're going to start, although there's still some empty seats, right? But I'll just start first. Okay. Hello. Have a seat. Welcome. Okay. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the C3 series. It's a bit of an update. This happened in June, was it? June, yes. Which was just a few weeks ago. Some of you were already involved and aware of it. It was something that happened here. We transformed the auditorium to look like a different place as much as we could. And we invited a very close and selected group of clients to come forward with the help of the relevant sales teams. This is something that we don't do it only one time. We plan to do it depending on how much resource we have, but at least I think we'll do it for about once a quarter. So we will normally reach out to you as sector sales or depending on which client, and we use some of the data that we've been working with Heikel and BI, right, to figure out which are the clients that are most likely we can make them spend on content marketing or some specific other area in what we're selling. And we woke up this client list, rather than blast out to 7,000-8,000 people and hope people reply, right? But we work with you to try to get the clients in. So I'll talk a little bit about the update for this and some of the survey results which we have attained, which actually gives us some actionable insight. And I'll show you what it is. Okay, so the C3 series stands for collaborate to create and to captivate. You can spin this in many ways, right? At the end of the day, it's really sitting down with your client and giving them a bit of education, showing them what content marketing can do, or showing them in future what audience targeting can do. So we're not keeping it locked to just content, but we started off with content because there is, I think there's a lot of demand of what content marketing can do, and specifically we want to show what SPH can do for them. Okay. Before I get into this, right, essentially what we also did was pull all the content marketing capabilities within SPH and to really show it and advertise it to our clients. So we work with Think, which is Think, which is part of EMTM Inc. The Chinese content studio, which Magdalene helped us represent. ContentLab, which is Serene, and Brand New Media. Right? So we take all of these aspects of content marketing, put them all in the room, give some education to the clients, and eventually, hopefully, they will gain something out of it and buy into SPH. Okay? So from there, these are the speakers, as I mentioned, and the panelists. So we took some of our product leads, for example, Jeremy from Stir and Karen from Asia One, and put them on the panel to talk about things or challenges that content marketers have. Okay? And from there, right, I think 71 RSVPs and 60 attendees, that is actually a very low drop-off rate, right? 71 to 60, that's a few percent. I think what's important here is I think people do see value in whatever the agenda is, and because we work directly with the sales team to close down a list of attendees, right, it actually worked out. And from there, right, the things that we can action upon would be the sales leads. Okay, and I'll explain the sales leads in a little while, because we got everybody, or as much as everyone, to do a survey of sorts to gain some kind of insight or data from them. Okay? So these were the clients: banking, durables, education, FMCG, property, and companies. So some of them are advertising with us. Some of them are not advertising with us. Some of them are doing content marketing, some of them are not. So there's a few patterns that we can kind of follow from here. So if an advertiser is doing a lot of advertising with us but not doing content marketing, maybe we can push content marketing to them. Right? So again, you can slice this pie up in many ways. Right? So if you help us with the patterning and the information, right, then we'll try to work out a good set of attendees. And let's just put it this way as well. If you have a client in there who is not really buying as much with us as you would like, sometimes we actually put in, or we want to put in clients that are actually buying with us, so they can help us do a bit of influencing, if you know what I mean. Okay? Okay, so some more clients, so retail, telco, travel, agency, infrastructure. We had 3 agency people, and there were some really good conversations that came out of it. And I think Watson's was one that bought something after that as well. And Watson's hasn't been spending with us for quite some time. So there were some very visible outcomes from this. Those of you who remember Biz Booster in the past for the SMEs, right? Think of this as a more data-centric, more specific chosen advertisers and agencies, right? So it's like kind of like Biz Booster times 2 or version 2 okay? Okay, so I'll just go to this. Now, survey results. If you look at the questions, right, are you currently doing content marketing? So these were the people that responded, right? So yes and no. The good thing about this,
Question very loaded, right?
Yeah, of course I have to be loaded.
Yes, no, but I plan to do it within the next 12 months. Whereas no, but I never want to do it.
No, so when we ask survey questions like this, right, you have always got to instigate purchase intent, right? So if you tell them no, and that's it, right? Then I can't action on it. But if you plan to do it, then you indicate it, and then we can tell you who they are. And actually we pass some of the leads over already, you know. But 7 to 10 respondents have experience with content marketing. That doesn't mean that they won't do anything with us. The point is, maybe they can do more, okay? Do you have an in-house content marketing team or agency? Yes and no. As John says, very loaded. Okay, maybe less loaded, this one, less loaded. But the point is, if you don't have one, we could be that one, okay? Would you be interested to know more about SPH Content Lab? So this is more like pool. You want to pull them in. So usually when you have this, right, actually quite a number of people actually answered yes, right? And again, this is something actionable, right? So there's no point doing a trade engagement or a workshop if there's nothing to action upon it. So the point here is, we will do it, but we will always try to get something out of it, okay? What is the biggest challenge? So as you can see, many people say budget. I don't know whether that was a loaded reply, but it's still learning for us, okay? So when we give the insights about any particular client here, we can actually look at it in a more granular level, okay? Okay, that's it for the survey. So most likely we'll probably try to do one again. I'm looking at the team more in November. So Reina and Shiri are here for the team that helped organize this. If you don't know who they are, can you please just stand up and do a twirl or something? I don't know. Sorry, that was very sexy. Just say hello. Okay, so hopefully November. So some of us have also reached out to you. I think Reina has reached out to 5 sectors to talk about the version 2.5 of this, which is those that we work with that came for this session, that we want to do a one-on-one session because, number 1, they have propensity to spend with us, and number 2, they are already spending a lot of money with us. Okay, so this one-on-one session, again, will be a collaboration between B&M and Content Lab, working together, and specifically on a brief. Okay, so we want to go down to the details of, at the end of the session, you come out with a brief that is good enough for you to propose something on. Okay, so you get that FaceTime, you get that longer session, you get to, as a client or agency, you get somebody to help you nail down the brief. Okay, so we plan to do this hopefully sometime in August, if not then September. Okay. But don't worry if no one has contacted your sector yet, I'm sure we'll get to it eventually, but let's try it out with some of this as a ladder on from C3, okay? Okay, sight and sound. I'm going to show a little video which kind of just summarizes what happened on that day. And since John was talking to me about would I like to share what is in the IND share folder in G Drive, all these videos are actually in IND share. Then there is number 6, marketing communications. In there got a thing called trade videos. I think I shared this out some time back. But go in there, the videos are all named accordingly. Can I show here? Yeah, so this is for my drive, but it's named case study, content lab, integrated. So anything that has integrated means that this video showcases all of our channels, or at least 2 channels. Print means print, product means specifically for Asia 1 or Content Lab, and trade means trade. Okay? So go to the IMD share folder, marketing communications, which is label number 6, trade communications, and there is a video folder. So check it out, download the videos. If you want to use it in your decks, the sizes are not too big, so okay, you can embed it without crashing your deck. Okay, so let me just show this. Sorry. Okay, these are some of the sights and sounds of the last one.
Humanizing your brand in order to build trust between your brand and your audience. If you're aware, for Chinese media, long time ago, we started working very closely with advertisers, doing advertorials and their campaigns.
I'm not here to talk, I'm here to show.
I want to talk about why video is the rock star of content marketing, and I think obviously there's been a lot of discussion already about why video works.
Okay, so that was basically the first one that we did, and we hope to have more happy faces like that and get some closure of sales as we go along. So probably November will be the next one. If not, then we will just let you know when the schedule is confirmed. Okay. So what's next? Oops. Okay, anyway, I don't need the slides. So what's next is basically those 2 things. One is C3 series for multiple clients, and then the next one will be individual clients that we pick up. Okay, so look forward to working with all of you. Anybody has any questions? Going once, twice? Okay, thank you.
Okay, nice easy session today. We'll go through G Suite a little bit, but the main objective of today's session is actually to go through the new G Drive, which I hope you have found access to and have found useful. If not, we will be going through the G Drive, especially for digital ops and SSP, anybody else who wants to go through it and show where things are. So just generally, sorry for the keyboard typewriter font, it didn't come out nicely on my laptop. So there's Google Drive, there's Google Hangouts, Calendar, Gmail. Gmail I'm sure you're used to, you don't have any choice. Calendar replaces Lotus Notes. Hangouts, go through a bit later. Hangouts replaces Same Time. If you like to use Same Time, Hangouts is there. Has ITV actually gone through all this with anybody? No, right? Okay, so that's why I'm doing it. But very briefly, okay, the main thing is Google Drive today. So Google Drive, you can store any file or folder. You can store it, okay? Doesn't mean that it has to be Joyce or myself or any administrators. You can use it to store your own files and access them on mobile, at home, and wherever you need. Sorry if this is too basic for a lot of you, okay? It might be. But some people hopefully will get something out of it. Live editing, you can do live editing of your Google Documents sheets. So instead of Microsoft Word, you can use Google Docs. Instead of Excel, you can use Google Sheets. It's similar, but it's more collaborative because 2 or 3 or even a team of people can edit the same file. Okay, Team Drive versus My Drive. This is actually something new that's at Google's introduced in the past few months. I will go through that a little bit, the differences. Maybe I will jump to G Drive and show you. So, if you use G Drive, you will see on the left-hand side, you have My Drive and you have Team Drives. My Drive was the old way that Google organized things. So My Drive is very personal. I own things in My Drive, I can share it with you if I want. If I want, I can take it back. If I leave the company, it's gone. And same thing for yourself, you can have your own folders in Google Drive, either personal, you don't share with anybody, or things that you share with a person or a team of people, but it's all individual, so you have control over it. Team Drive is different in the sense that anybody can create a Team Drive, alright? It doesn't have to be the team heads or whatever, anybody can create a Team Drive. The difference for a Team Drive is sharing comes at the drive level. So it's all or nothing. For My Drive, hope I don't have anything weird inside My Drive. Okay, so in My Drive I have, no, it's my personal Gmail account. In My Drive I have folders. I can choose to share my miscellaneous folder with only my team. I can choose to share the SPH Digital folder with Jen only. I can choose each of these. These are my files, I can do what I want with them. Inside Team Drive, it's different. I currently have IMD Digital AdOps, that's for my team. IMD IMT Systems Refresh, I think somebody else put me inside. IMD Share, the very important one that we'll go through later, which is for everybody. And then Publisher Trainers, which is a small team of people. So each of these is all or nothing. Everything inside is shared with everybody. So IMD Digital AdOps is my team. That's it. I cannot go in and decide that for billing, I don't want to allow certain people in my team to see it. It's all or nothing. And the benefit, one of the benefits is all or nothing, so it's much easier to organize. Once you have your own Team Drive for your own team, it's very clear how your organization is in terms of sharing. The other thing is that it's owned by the organization. So if I created a Team Drive and I leave the organization next month, that data will still be there. Alright? Within your team as well. Okay. Let's skip that. So for Team Drive, there's IMD Share, which we'll go through, and you can create as many as you like. You can have 10,000 Team Drives. Wouldn't be very helpful, but you can. And share them with people as you like. There are 3 levels of access. Basically for My Drive and Team Drive, there are 3 levels of access, just that they name them slightly differently. So when you share with somebody, you can share it as view only. That means you cannot edit the file. You can share it as edit. You can edit your spreadsheet or whatever, or you can add files to that folder. Or full access. For Team Drive, you have full access. So full access means you can delete files. Be careful with that. But deleting files, you can undelete in Google Drive. Okay, so generally, which one to use for when? Use Team Drive when you are sharing with a set group of people, whether it's a project, whether it's a team. Use My Drive for your own personal files that you don't want to share with other people, obviously. Shares to outside SPH. You can only share to outside SPH using My Drive, because Team Drive you have to share everything. And sharing that means very specific access permission. Within this folder, certain files can go to this person, cannot go to this person, for that reason. Skip this, too much information. Okay, this is the meat of today's presentation. So there's the IMD Share from Team Drive that Joyce Lee is the admin for. She's here today, very good. Thanks, Joyce. You will find it in your Team Drive. You will find it under IMD Share. Alright, if you cannot find it under Team Drive IMD share, do check in with Joyce, but should be there because you should be automatically added once you're in the IMD group. Alright, so inside the IMD share, you will see these folders. There is a index of sorts, which is a PDF if you need to go through and see where the stuff is. I'm just going to go very specifically to the things that matter to digital ops and digital production. So what Wayne was talking about just now, marketing comms, trade comms. Yeah, okay. Okay, go inside. Marketing comms, trade comms, and IMD videos. So it's all there. You can actually play it live, I think, if it's not too big. Yeah. Okay. For ops, let me take my opportunity to show you. It's inside AdOps, credit and so on. Booking guidelines and SOP. I've made it easy for you by putting everything into one major folder. SOP, booking guidelines, SOP. So these are the 5 folders that are important for digital ops. Digital ad benchmarks, which are all in PDF and updated regularly. Let's see if this views, yep. So these are your digital benchmarks. If any of you still see the old Excel sheet with like hundreds of rows, please don't use that. It's not being updated anymore and it's not very user-friendly. We have our digital campaign report archives of previous FY and current FY campaigns that are finished. Digital inventory, which is the booking calendars, EDM, e-newsletter, mobile, and so on. These are all live, updated. Yep. Not for you to edit. If you have edit access, please tell me you shouldn't. Very dangerous. And these are some of the sales guides that I use for briefing new stuff, and as well, I think previously with the initial IMD integration. So SOPs and things are here, right? Okay, that's it for digital ops. Anything missing from digital ops that you need? No. Okay, do feedback to myself or from digital ops. Singhui is the one who does, who's our admin for ops, so to speak. Now SSP. Nathan will take over and show.
Okay, for SSP, we are taking care of number 2, the packages folder, 4 product and 5 insight. So anything related packages wise, whether is it single platform or integrated platform, it will all be here. So for example, within the digital only packages, it will be avatar pack, brand insider and stuff. So packages related is all here. And then for product itself, there is a couple of things. Some of them are combined, managed with BI, business intelligence. So for example, for the media sales kit itself, we have one which is generic at the platform level, whether is it for integrated or digital media kits. So this is for generic, and anything that's single product, like for example, the recent Stir launch, the introduction kit is here. So specific to individual product, it will be all managed here. And for the, for example, any straightforward information like the readership, circulation, the reader's profile, those previously in MRC, they have been ported over. This will be managed by business intelligence. And for example, the product brochures or the snapshot that we have done earlier is all saved here, so it's for easy sharing with the client. Yeah. And sales rebuttal, it will be updated as and when we have any. Yeah. Syndicated surveys would be things like any surveys done specifically to a certain topic. Like for example, previously we have done the heat map, we have done the PowerPoint. Yeah. So this will be updated as and when. For the insights, we have split into different categories. Like we have for ADAX report, we managed by business insider, sectoral updates, so you might ask competitive information, and all this insight we by SSP. So previously we have done the ready reckoner for some of the audiences. It will be parked inside this audience insight. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all from SSP. I think what else is missing is that we might want to also take a look at the rates and the pricing in case you're looking for rate also, because I think it's not covered. So here, the rate book is your standard hard copy rate book that you can find. Sorry, please. Sorry, go back again. So rates and pricing folder, you can find your hard copy, the rate book that you have. But if you want to look for digital pricing, under this folder, digital pricing, that's 2017. It's your version 5.2, your latest long list of digital pricing and discount tiers that you can apply, your video production rates that Jim has sent out some time back, and some other production fees, guidelines that you can look at, check out here. Okay? That's for digital pricing. There's also folder here that's on the training. So if the past training decks that you've been looking for, it also can be found here under training decks, learning sessions. The previous one that we've done, which is on case studies, deep dive, okay, or the courts and UOB, and then thematic sessions as well on the advertorial audience trends, and also programmatic and CPC plus BI. All right. So if you are also keen to know, for example, some useful links that we have inserted. Oh, this one is not dropped here yet. You'll be inserted here a list of the useful links that were covered in the training, as well as if you want to know upcoming schedule of the trainings, it also can be found in the learning series drive here. Okay. So that's basically for training. Yeah, I think that's about all. Any other missing stuff or things that you want to ask? Now, it's quite easy to find it. If not, shortcut way, just search and you'll be able to find stuff. Okay?
Since we're here, I shall go through the rest of the presentation. Anybody else from SSO wants to go through anything? No, okay. There we go. Okay, Google Drive. The admins or the people with full access have been getting a lot of requests for access from personal Gmail accounts. So I assume these are mistakes when you're logged into your personal Gmail account, you cannot get in and then you request for access. If you cannot get access, please check which account you're logged into. Okay, we will not give access to honeybunny88@gmail.com for security reasons.
I did Raffle. I don't use that. So somebody shared out somewhere.
So how to change the account? Okay, good point. If you don't know how to change, alright, it's here. You can see which account you're using. If you're using your sph.com.sg account, it will be shown here. If not, you can add an account and then switch it. Once you add an account, you have the option to switch it. Okay? And anybody who's added, please do not give access to anybody at gmail.com. Except for your own MyDrive, if you recognize the person as your client or whatever that you're supposed to share it with. Alright? If you still cannot get access, you're absolutely sure you're using your sph.com.sg account, Joyce is the person to talk to. Okay? There may be an issue where your email is not in the group, though unlikely, especially if you're new, it's possible. Okay, when you're sharing things in Google Drive, you can either share with a specific user or you can share with groups. So you can share with, which is it? Sorry, the only group I can remember is MKGMS, which is probably not a good group to share with because it's a bit too big. But you can share with a group. So whatever your team, you don't have to type in every team person's name. You just type in your group email, whatever group email you have, which is also managed by Joyce. Yeah, okay. Sorry? Easy. Okay, yeah, for SPH stuff, please share only with sph.com.sg. Of course, clients, it's okay for my drive. Okay, that's all on drive. Just very quickly on these things in case they're new to you or not very clear. Google Hangouts replaces chat, replaces same time, so it's in chat. It's part of Gmail. If you don't know where it is, it's in Gmail. Unless you have disabled it, it should be over here. You can start a new conversation if you need. It's very easy to use. Won't go into great detail. Please install the mobile app, optional but recommended. Then you will get chat updates on your mobile. You can still ignore them if you want. That's fine. We still use Slack for ops help channels because Google Chat is not very good with channels. But with direct messages, it's fine. You want to use Slack for ops, you want to use Google Chat, I accept both. I do prefer Slack, but I will accept both. And we can direct message as you need, okay? Because not everybody uses Slack. Okay, quick. Google Calendar, just a few very quick tips. When you're making a calendar invite, you can actually check if the person is available or not. And that, to make sure to get the right data of whether you are available, you should mark your events with busy time. I'll show this very quickly in a minute. Especially leave, you can actually mark your whole day as on leave. And then if I want to make an appointment with you, I can't make it, or it will tell me that you're busy. Team calendars, you can actually create team calendars and share these with others, so you can share your own team calendars for leave and so on. Very quickly, I'll show you the calendar feature. Let's see. So if I make an event here, by default it should already show me as busy. If I want to go on and when I invite my guests, let's invite Jen. You can actually show me which times Jen can attend based on if her calendar is updated, but if it's not, then she'll tell me she can't. So if you want to apply for leave, you can just put in a full thing, a full day. Okay. Jump. Gmail tips, tabs. You can have tabs in Gmail. You can do filtering. In Lotus Notes, I think this was mail rules. Mail rules? Was it? Maybe mail rules in Lotus Notes? No, I never used Lotus Notes. Mail rules. So you can do filtering and you can do labels. I'm not going to go through in detail, but for example, I get a lot of mail, so I actually have 5 tabs. I actually have filter rules that will push things to different tabs depending, and you can create labels and filter rules if you need. Alright, you can create your own filter rules in settings, filters. Won't go through in detail, that's it. Questions on the Google Drive, folders? If not, I'll be here for 5 minutes if you have questions on Gmail, Google Drive, and so on. Other than that, thank you. Happy Thursday.